Hi everybody, this is Shannon from No Shelf Control. Thanks for joining me on the channel tonight. I have another backlist title that I am excited to tell you about. It's one that I gave 4 stars to, and I think that you will find it to be one of those books that pulls you in a couple of different directions. And I love that. It made me look at the way I think about things and made me sort of question my own morals. So I can't wait to tell you about it. Let's get started. The book is called The Best Kind of People, and as I said, it is Backlist. It was published August 27th, 2016. It is by Zoe Whittall, and the blurb on the book says, "Heartbreaking and complex. The Best Kind of People offers no easy answers. This is a masterly exploration of the damage an entire community incurs when the secret at the heart of its most perfect family detonates." And that is a quote from Lynn Cody, author of Hellgoing. So this book is by House of Anansi Press, and it's 404 pages, but it did not feel at all like 404 pages. I raced through it. I read it really quickly. I had to get to the end, and I think part of my judgment of what's a good book and what's not a good book comes from that feeling. Now, there are books that I don't read quickly that I think are excellent, but if I'm racing through a book because I just want to consume it, invariably, that's a book that I think is a good book. So that's how this one went for me. It is set in Connecticut, and it won the Scotiabank Giller Prize in 2016. So I want to read the synopsis to you. It says, "What if someone you trusted was accused of the unthinkable? George Woodbury, an affable teacher and beloved husband and father, is arrested for sexual impropriety at a prestigious prep school. His wife Joan vaults between denial and rage as the community she loves turns on her. Their daughter Sadie, a popular overachieving high school senior, becomes a social pariah. Their son Andrew assists in his father's defense while wrestling with his own unhappy memories of his teen years. A local author tries to exploit their story while an unlikely men's rights activist attempts to get Sadie on side their cause. With George locked up, how do members of his family pick up the pieces and keep living their lives? How do they defend someone they love while wrestling with the possibility of his guilt? With exquisite emotional precision, award-winning author Zoe Whittall explores issues of loyalty, truth, and the meaning of happiness through the lens of an all-American family on the brink of collapse." So you see the premise. The premise here is that, Mr. Classic America has been accused of sexual impropriety at a boarding school or a prestigious prep school, I believe. And the author has set him up in such a way that you really buy into the idea that he's a good guy. He actually stopped a school shooting, stood up to a school shooter, and was able to get the gun away from him and save the school from a school shooter. So everybody's going into this incident with very high opinions of George. And so you get to this place where you think, could this really have happened? Could he have done this? And then what happens? How do you behave? How do you react if you're his wife or his daughter or his son? And so, where we are in the Me Too movement, you wonder, do you believe George because, he's a good guy and a class act and everything you know about George tells you that he couldn't do this? Or do you believe women the way we say you should? If a woman says something happened to her, believe her. Where do you fall on that line if this is your dad or your husband or someone you know very well? I just think it's a great question and something really to explore. And I think Zoe Whittall did a great job exploring it and putting you in a position where you get that tension and you feel that sort of, "Ugh, I don't know what to do with this" kind of feeling. I gave it 4 stars instead of 5, so you may be asking why that is. There was one character that I just didn't find believable, and that was Sadie. She is the high-achieving high school daughter, and I didn't feel like she was three-dimensional enough. I didn't she just didn't seem real to me in the way that the other characters did. And so I docked a star for that. But, you know, I just couldn't give it 5 stars with that sort of gap in it for me. But that was the only problem that I had, was really just Sadie seeming flat to me. But I definitely think this book is worth a read. You know, this is one, being backlist the way it is, you could easily get it at a used bookstore, at your local library, because, you know, people aren't clamoring for it the way they might have been when it first came out. And they're not clamoring for it the way they are the hot and new books that are hard to get right now. So I highly recommend that you check this one out. Again, it's called The Best Kind of People by Zoe Whittall. If you enjoy hearing about backlist books, please like and subscribe. I love to know what's working for you so that I know what to do more of. I also have a wish list at the bottom of the description for each of my videos. If you would like to gift me with a book, have one of the books from my wish list sent to me, I would love to read it, do a review on the channel, and give you a big shout out. So I hope that this was as fun for you as it was for me. I like going back to the books I really enjoyed and having the opportunity to share them with you. Stick around. I have more book reviews coming up. I also have the bookstore tour that I have promised from Wake Forest, North Carolina this weekend. And I have a few surprises up my sleeve. So I hope to see you here again soon, and we will continue to talk all things bookish. Take care.